We have a great community and a lot of insight. So this is coming in from Elmer. And Elmer says, I'm convinced old people listen to Fox because they yell loudly enough for them to hear. I've actually not heard this before, but it makes perfect sense, right? Just imagine these old people sitting around angry all the time. They're on their, I guess, lazy boys. They got hearing aids, can't hear so well. And you're like, Grandpa, Grandpa, you have to believe this guy on TV. Look at him. He's waving around and yelling. That must be the truth. And I guess it must work for Fox. Here's another one. This is from Arky. Arky says, Wall Street are not run by the smartest people in the room, only the greediest. They helped bring us Trump, and now they're reaping what they sow. And I have a lot to say about this particular comment. I'll say this, guys. There's only so much that you need in the world to be happy, to be perfectly frank. You reach a certain point, and it's like, what more do you need? What it ends up being for people like a Trump or Musk or whoever and their friends, for them, it's more about competition, power, and control. They don't need to keep, chasing dollars. They don't need to keep scamming, et cetera. But they just want to compete with their buddies. And unfortunately, we have a situation in the USA where people associate wealth with, I guess, intelligence, or wealth with, goodness, I guess. Just because someone has money doesn't necessarily make them good. I know it might sound shocking to a lot of people, but that's sort of the situation that we're in. And people think, oh, well, look at Trump and Musk. They got money, so therefore they must have life figured out, and we should follow everything that they say. There's a portion of the population that think that way. There's a portion of the population that still think that Trump's a good business person. It's kind of crazy to think that if you just open your eyes and see what's going on a daily basis. We're living through like massive chaos, right? And hopefully, this time around will really wake up a lot of people, or this will be the last that we have to deal with Trump, because the guy is getting old, to be perfectly frank. And sometimes, people ask me about, Chris, you're not looking so well these days. Are you okay? I'll be honest, guys. It has been stressful the last few days. Sometimes we need to unplug and get out more. The weather's warming up. That's why I came down to the beach today and hang out at the sand castles. So here's another look at some of the sand castles they're building. They got some other sand built up. It's going to be really cool. And yeah, it does you well. And it's healthy to get outside and just have a chat with you guys as well. That not all of us are lazy boys, hearing aids, and angry and screaming at the TV all day and blaming Biden for everything, right? That's the Fox News world. And then going back to Wall Street is run by the greediest people, not necessarily the smartest people. I also want to make it clear as well, because these are all sensitive topics. Being smart doesn't necessarily make someone a good person either, right? For example, I could be really smart, and I could decide that I want to be a James Bond villain. If you watch any James Bond movie, James Bond villains are actually really smart, right? But they use their talents and their intelligence for ill will on other people, and again, they want to dominate and control. What I try to do so much, I guess, throughout my life and say on this channel, is just to help people. I think it's the right thing to do. To be perfectly frank, I'll just put it in the bluntest terms. I think it's the right thing to do. Is if you have the power and abilities to help others. For me, it was education. I could have gone and worked on Wall Street if I really wanted to. You guys may or not know, Trump and Musk went to my school. I went to Penn. It's the finance school. Basically, like a lot of people in finance go to school there. A lot of people you'll see on TV went to school there. So, but not everyone, not everyone's goal in life is to pursue as big a bank account as possible. For me, having the free time and the conscience, my conscience, like I can look over my shoulder and I see a sandcastle. No one's chasing me. No one's got guns. I don't need 20 bodyguards to go to the bathroom. That's what Musk needs. And essentially, I hope there's a culture change out there, and I try to encourage that culture change, meaning that pursuit of happiness, not necessarily pursuit of just the biggest scam and the biggest bottom line, whatever. Here's another one. This is a funny one from Keith. Keith says, if you think kissing the ring is a good idea, you might end up with a brown nose. And yes, and I want to sort of take that further. Another way to think about it is, if you hang out with people who say drop a bunch of crap all the time, you're going to step in that crap, and man, it's hard to get crap off your shoes, And another way to think about it is, and this is for anyone who's working with the Trump people right now, is for some people, they'll look at like a Trump or a Musk, for example, and they'll say, oh, look at that person, they control all these people, look at that person, they control all these companies, etc. And I want to be like that. Like, some people think that way, and then they're attracted to said person. But I just want you to just look at them, like look at them honestly and say like, are those people happy, right? Is it a happy life to have like multiple kids, people screaming at you all the time, people writing big protest signs with your name on it says that we don't like you? Is that like just imagine that? Just imagine like I don't like Trump and Musk. I'll just be honest with you, I don't like these people. But I also acknowledge that they're human beings, right? And if I were in their situation and like every day people have these signs outside like my window and when I drive to work that they don't like me, like think of what that does to your psyche, right? I'm not feeling sorry for them. I don't want to give that impression. I'm just saying from a human perspective, man, that's why they're messed up. And don't put yourself in that position. Think of another way to think about it is, one of the things when I was a kid, I like sports a lot, and I was a big fan of the Portland Trail Blazers. So if you grew up in Portland around my time, it was Clyde Drexler and Terry Porter. And for me, and there's a lot of other players in the team, and Kevin Duckworth and Buck Williams and Jerome Kersey. I remember these guys, really do. I'm talking about basketball now, but they were my heroes. I used to wear T-shirts with these people's faces on my T-shirts and stuff like that, and the love in the city for that is very, very different than say like imagine if like people have T-shirts with their face on it and say Musk situation where like I hate Elon. That's got to really mess up with you, right? Or for example, guys, when we hang out in the community, I enjoy that we support each other, and so I'm about building each other up, not creating a community of like greed and lusting after power. And it's a different culture, and like I said, if you hang out with people who drop crap all the time, you'll step in it and it gets on you. So just stay away. Here's another one. Bibbidi says, "Are these secret contests for the worst ideas?" You guys got the greatest comments. Okay, so I have a couple of thoughts on this. First is, I think Trump and Musk are sending us into this Hunger Games kind of world. And if you guys watch Hunger Games, or another way to say it, we'll say the Korean version, Squid Games, basically all the same, roughly the same story, is where you just have a bunch of wealthy individuals betting on the rest of us on who's gonna kill off each other first. That's essentially what it ends up being, and we're all kind of just there for their amusement. Think of it like this: the way, say, Trump runs his like reality TV show, or the TV show which is right now The Apprentice White House, is like, hey, which one of you cabinet members is going to come up with the best idea and the best plan this week, right? And then next week we'll vote on who had the worst idea and we'll vote him off the island. and the joke that Bibbidi was saying, are there secret contests for the worst ideas? It seems like since Trump is the judge, he's picking the worst people and the worst ideas. So if you run the country and the world like a reality TV show, this is what you get. Yes, it's entertaining. I'll be perfectly frank. It is entertaining because it's so crazy, but also, even though we laugh at it, I always want to remind you guys that there are real people involved. That's why we went to the story the other day of the woman who can't get Medicaid, and the basic gist of it is like, say someone like a Musk wants to put work conditions on that, but she can't get her back healthy to work, and so therefore she can't get the surgery she needs to get back to work, and then she can't get any money for that. It's a catch-22. It's tough, and I just never want to lose sight that there's real people involved. I just want to make that clear. Here's another person from Ralph. Ralph says, sociopaths always surround themselves with sycophants. And yeah, that's correct. So, the one thing that's really interesting about Trump and Musk, so one, yes, they surround themselves with a bunch of people who, kiss the ring, kiss their feet all the time, that kind of thing. And when you pick people just based on that, how loyal they are and how much they kiss your feet, you're not picking independently strong and independently qualified people. And for example, if you guys don't know, I used to work in film, and when I would build teams, like you want to build a team of people who give you their honest opinion, right? So if I ask someone, say just for example, hey, maybe we should cast this actor, what do you think? And if the person's like, I'm just going to give you an opinion to make you feel happy, right? Meaning that that first president you selected is awesome, and you know all the best everything, and you're so great, then you're not getting real opinions from anyone at all, and you don't want that. You want actually people to give you their honest opinion. The same with any decision, especially business decisions that you make financially or politically or otherwise. You want people to actually give you their honest opinion, not just say yes all the time, because then you don't get any opinions. And then on top of that, which is sort of the situation that we're in, and I'm talking about how to run a business or run a company, you want people who are going to give opinions that are for the good of the whole, the good of the organization, right? not the Trump organization, but the situation of, say, the country. Make decisions based on what's best for the country, not what's best to put money in said person's pocket. Um, that's sort of what I just wanted to chat with you guys today. I'll try to actually yeah, go through some of your comments more. I don't respond to all your comments all the time, guys, because I can't. There's too many, but I do read every single one of them, and it always keeps me informed as well because I enjoy your thoughts because I know you guys have a lot of independent thinking, and it's very different than if I were just to say, for example, use example Fox News all day. They just tell me what to think, and they have just like one message of the day, and they repeat it over and over and over again, and they yell it because I guess the old people can't hear. But it changes your perspective on the world when we have people from multiple countries writing in our community all the time. People from Germany, people from Canada, Australia, and in other words, like a lot of countries. And I feel enriched and blessed every day to have such a diverse community to have different ideas, not just my own. That's why I try to share as much as I can. So anyway, that's my thoughts on what's going on. I do appreciate your time, and I'll give you an update on the sandcastles when they're done. And frankly, this is really cool, and the weathers are quite good. And I guess I think we're in where are we? Is it May? No, it's April 19th. So I'm not sure if we're officially. No, we're still in spring. You guys can let me know when summer officially starts. I never know that kind of stuff. That's I guess I'm calendar inefficient that way. If the weather's nice, I go outside. That's how I think. Anyway, you appreciate your time, everyone, and I'll catch you on the next video.